We are here to bring a new type of news show.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bringing news just for you. It's Friday, June 7th here in Seoul. I'm Song Yujin, and this is News Generation. Today, we're joined by 챗GPT.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, the Friday girls. And Brooke Prince, too.
Hello, nice to see you.
Nice to see you all. Now, both are here to speak on behalf of those in their 20s and 30s. As usual, we're going to start with our news feed, which covers different hashtags and news items that have been trending online over the past 24 hours. It appears that 2024 is on its way to becoming the hottest year on record. According to the European Union's Copernicus Climate Change Service on Wednesday, May 2024 was the warmest May on record globally. This marks the 12th straight month in which the monthly high temperature record has been broken. The global average for this May, 15.9 degrees Celsius, was 1.52 degrees Celsius above the estimated average from 1850 to 1900. On the same day, the World Meteorological Organization warned that there is an 80% chance that the annual average global temperature could exceed 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels for at least 1 year between 2024 and 2028, breaching the Paris Agreement goal. Moving on, have you ever imagined taking lectures from a K-pop star? G-Dragon has been appointed as a visiting professor at the Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, better known as KAIST. The school announced on Wednesday that its mechanical engineering department made this decision to expand the global competitiveness of Korean culture by integrating the latest technology developed by the institute. G-Dragon will give lectures on leadership and host cultural events engaging with KAIST students. Now, ending off Baemin, the most used delivery service in Korea, has announced that it will start charging businesses a 6.8% commission fee for each takeout order. This means that if a restaurant receives a pickup order worth 30,000 won, the owner will now have to pay an additional 20,040 won to the platform. This packaging fee will be implemented starting July 1st, but businesses already on the platform will be exempt from this fee until March 2025. Now, this new fee rate is the same as Baemin's delivery commission. Baemin says that it delayed charging these fees for years to reduce the burden on businesses severely affected by the pandemic, and that it has been providing containers and packaging tools for free. Business owners have mixed reactions. Some find the fee manageable since pickup orders are a small part of their total orders, while others believe the commission rate matching that of deliveries is too high. So here in the studio, I want to ask you guys, as active users of delivery services, our generation being active users, what are your thoughts about this change? Are you concerned or not?
Well, I am definitely a frequent customer of these delivery apps. I think they are so fast, convenient, and pretty reasonably priced, especially because recently Baemin, the app that we're talking about, rolled out their free delivery service as a part of their Baemin Club membership, and I have definitely been taking advantage of that. But of course, every time you get something for free, something kind of has to give elsewhere, right, to compensate for it. So I think that's where this packaging fee is coming from. So I guess my concern would be that the owners of the businesses will see this fee and say, well, we have no other choice now but to raise our prices. So I hope that Baemin will kind of keep an eye on that and be willing to make adjustments so that they can reduce the burden on customers and businesses as well.
I think you mentioned a really good point. A big reason why the general public is so concerned about this change is because this could potentially lead to businesses making their food prices even higher when we're seeing them becoming more expensive due to skyrocketing inflation. Now, Jihi, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, personally, I don't use Baemin. I use another delivery app. I only use it for B-Mart.
Which is like delivering groceries.
Exactly.
Right?
It's very convenient. However, customers may have varying reactions to the implementation of these takeout packaging fees. Now, while some may be concerned about the extra cost and question the value of the service because it might put a burden on the customers in the end. But others may view it as a necessary addition to make the app more convenient to use and ensure the sustainability of the delivery service. I mean, it will need money to improve the service going forward, right? So it's important for Baemin, the service provider, to take into account these customer reactions as a whole and balance out them and adjust their fee policies and find ways to be able to better serve their customers.
I definitely get what arguments both sides are making and where they're coming from. So I guess that we just need more communication from both the delivery service platform, the businesses, and also customers. And that was our news feed for this Friday. So we're now going to move on to our main discussion of the day. Today, we're going to focus on the cutting-edge technology that's transforming not only industries, but also our daily lives. It's generative artificial intelligence used in AI chatbots, for example, like ChatGPT. So let's first take a look at the screen to find out more. Generative AI is a technology capable of creating new content, including audio, code, images, text, simulations, and videos based on the data it's trained on. The global spotlight turned to this technology after the launch of OpenAI's ChatGPT in November 2022. Since then, tech giants like Google have released their own models to gain a competitive edge in the market. What do millennials and Gen Z think about this groundbreaking technology that's rapidly becoming part of our everyday lives? Right, with just entering a few keywords, this generative AI models can tell jokes, write poems, emails, essays, and summarize lengthy papers. Now, being the tech-savvy generation, millennials and Gen Zs, I guess, are active users of these tools, right, Jihi?
Yes, definitely. So ChatGPT has become like a personal assistant for millennials and Gen Z, including myself. The numbers support this well as well. Now, as seen on the screen, we can tell that over 85% of people in their 20s and 30s in South Korea have reported using generative AI, and 24% of them stated they use it almost every day.
Right.
Now, the younger generation, as we know, is known for their openness to new experiences and their quick adoption of new technology, and these statistics do certainly reflect that. And I am an active user of ChatGPT as well. I've used it to plan out the curriculum for my lectures, write news articles sometimes, and prepare for interpretation gigs by conducting background research. And at the end of last year, I even filmed an online lecture on how to write English prompts.
I think I saw it on your social media.
Yes, to effectively use ChatGPT. And I received great feedback for the lecture, as many people were eager to utilize the tool to obtain the search results they want by using the official language, which is English. And they say that if you put in English prompts, they give you better results.
Oh, yeah, I
which
heard
is
about
why,
that.
Which is why people want to learn the proper use of prompts. And with the upgraded versions of these AIs, I've also tried making graphs, tables by inputting data. And as the version continues to be updated, sophistication and the accuracy of the tool seems to be continuously developing.
So it seems that Jihi is an early adapter. She's using these generative AI models really well. Now, Brooke, do you also regularly use these tools? What about you?
I think I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum.
It's always have to have balance.
Yeah, I've used ChatGPT one time just out of curiosity, but I do have a lot of friends that use it. My closest friend, she actually, whenever she has a personal problem, she asks it for advice.
Like a counseling service.
Yes, and I've looked at the responses, and they're actually surprisingly thoughtful and helpful. Of course, it can't replace actual therapy, but if you need an unbiased opinion, I think it's a much cheaper option. But for me personally, in terms of AI technology, I think the only thing that really falls under that umbrella is translation applications, which a lot of people don't think of as AI, but they do use machine learning algorithms in order to improve and get better at the language over time. So particularly when I first got to Korea, I relied on these heavily because I didn't know the language. And they're so cool because you can talk in English into them and then Korean will come out. So it can really help with that language barrier. But even now that I have more fluency in the language, I still use it regularly if there's a word that I don't know or if I want to say something a little bit more complex. So I would say as a language learner, AI tools have been essential in my journey.
Right. So as Jihi and Brooke mentioned, outlining lectures, searching for information, looking up unfamiliar words, and even learning the language are just a few ways to utilize these tools because this technology can do so much more, so much so that some people call these AI chatbots personal secretaries, as Jihi just mentioned. So we kind of prepared a very fun mini segment today. Well, I actually filmed a short video on some fascinating ways to use generative AI. So let's take a look. I was supposed to be joined by a special guest, but right now she's just roaming up around my house. This is Tambi. She is our family's cute puppy. She's a 2-year-old Pomsky, and Tambi started barking really loud 10 minutes ago. but she went out for her daily walk today. So I guess that she's either hungry or she just wants to play. I'm thinking that she really wants to play, but it's too late to go out for another walk. So I'm gonna ask my AI chatbot on some games or activities that I can do inside the house to calm down Tambi and kind of entertain her. So let's take a look at what kind of recommendation my AI chatbot will give. So I'm going to enter my question to the AI chatbot. My question is, it's too late to go on a walk with my dog, but she seems to want to play. What can I do with her inside the house? So let's take a look at what kind of answers the chatbot will give. It says you can try playing a game of fetch with her using a toy or a ball, or you can engage in a game of hide and seek with her by hiding treats around the house for her to find. Another option is to play tug of war with a rope toy, or you can also try training her new tricks or practicing old ones. So out of this recommendation, I think that I'm gonna try out playing tug of war and also trying to train Tambi with new tricks or the ones that she's already good at. So let's start playing with Tambi. Right, so the first recommendation that the AI chatbot suggested was playing a game of tug of war. So Tambi really likes playing tug of war. As you can see, she's very passionate. So I think that I'm gonna play this with her for about like 10 minutes before moving on to the chatbot's next recommendations. All of this made me really hungry. I think I need to eat something like a late night snack, although it's almost midnight. I'm kind of into mandu, which is Korean style dumplings these days. So I think I'm gonna ask the AI chatbot a simple but delicious recipe of mandu. So follow me. The mandu, the Korean dumplings, I used pork, beef, napa cabbage, green onions, garlic, ginger, soy sauce, sesame oil, a lot of ingredients, and now they're ready. And the final step is cooking these dumplings. So the AI chatbot said steam the mandu for 8 to 10 minutes, but I don't have a steamer here, so instead I'm gonna boil the dumplings, which we usually do at our house. So I'm gonna start cooking it. Hope it turns out well. In terms of my life, so I just like to ask my general horoscope for the day after through AI chatbots kind of give you this fortune telling. So I'm gonna ask the AI chatbot what's my general horoscope for the day, and let's take a look at the answer. It says, in terms of career, you'll find your decision-making capacity enhanced, allowing you to take on risks that could strengthen your financial situation. Today's horoscope suggests a period of high morale and positivity across various aspects of your life. You'll handle important matters with strength and initiative, and professional travel might be on the horizon. This is a good day for focusing on your professional performance and plans. Well, I think I'm loving my general horoscope for tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to tomorrow as well. Well, every workday is amazing and lovely to just meet you guys on NewsGen, so
Well, I hope you guys and our viewers loved my small video. So by looking at the video and looking at what you guys, what we talked about here in the studio, it's really eye-opening.
Very
and
interesting. I liked it. You have a future in vlogging, I think.
Yeah. Do I? Yeah. I highly doubt that, but thank you. So I think that it's definitely eye-opening and interesting to see that what this technology can offer and do. But as mentioned earlier, this is really interesting because these AI chatbots have been around for a relatively short time, at least the versions we know of. It's been about a year and a half since ChatGPT was first introduced to the world, and since then we have been seeing the technology grow tremendously. For example, we've seen more upgraded models coming out. So Jihi, why do you think we're seeing such a rapid advancement in this technology? Well, ChatGPT, as we've been talking about, is now widely used not only in schools, but companies and everyday life of people. And it's being applied to exams, even creative outputs, entertainment, information searching, and many more. And people also use generative AI to automate and streamline their daily tasks like scheduling, organizing emails, writing documents, and analyzing data even.
Right.
And because of these various purposes, even over a short period of time, ChatGPT has been widely used and has become an inseparable part
right.
of our lives for many people. And the primary reason, as you see on the screen, is to improve work efficiency. And this is followed by self-improvement, generating creative ideas, and even just satisfying curiosity about what's trending.
Right.
And different from conventional search engines where they provide tons of information and you just have to select among the sea of data, with generative AI, you can directly receive what you ask for, as you've seen from Eugene's vlog, thus streamlining the whole search process as well, making it easier for us to get information.
Right. So these generative AI services, they definitely make your task and the process of doing your work much shorter. As you mentioned, enhancing work efficiency. And our generation, as we've talked about on NewsGen, is a generation that greatly values efficiency. Now, for you, Brooke, what do you think are some other reasons why this is becoming so big?
Well, I think it's grown in popularity because people are creative and we've figured out all sorts of different ways to use this technology. For example, my brothers are both software engineers and they use AI technology to test the code that they've written.
Really?
So whereas before they had to manually go through and do that, now it's an automated process. So it really cuts their time down. And in my case, I got my master's degree in interpretation and translation, and we learned how to use AI technology to help us translate. So if you had a 500-page document, let's say, for one person to translate that, it would be very, very difficult. He knows this very well. Yes, but if you run it through a computer first, then that means that you are more free to go through and do the more creative aspects. You can look and see if there are any mistranslations and maybe change certain words to be a better fit. So I think that as we go on, we're going to keep finding more creative ways to use AI technology in order to enhance our work and our lives.
Right. It can also definitely help enhancing the quality of our work as well. So now, for more on what's behind generative AI's growing popularity, which is what we're discussing about, and the future of this technology, we're going to invite an expert to join our discussion. We'll be right back after the break. Right, so today we're joined by Park Ju-yong, an associate professor in culture technology at the Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology. Welcome, Professor Park, to the show.
Hey, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. So, Professor, our first question for you today is, where do you think generative AI is in its evolution right now, and do you expect to see more advancements and development soon?
Yeah, so these days, what you see is what you get, meaning that whenever there is any developments in generative AI, the companies are so eager to showcase them to public because it is evolving at such a rapid pace. And also, it talks quite well. So as a quick helper in that regard, it has really caught up. And the quality of music and pictures made by these are sometimes impressive to the experts. Though to expand the user base, the challenge will be to make it as easy as possible for more people, which the most recent developments in interactivity is certainly addressing. Most importantly, though, how human, original, or creative the generated content can be is still a big question that needs to be thought about, because the role of humans in the process is in such a different form from the classical methods of using pens, wielding brushes, or playing instruments.
Well, Professor, why do you think the millennials and Gen Zs are the primary users of this technology, though?
Oh, yeah. So it is no wonder that the young generation who have known those highly personalized handheld smart devices all their lives are more into Gen AI, because it thrives in those environments, right? And of course, the tech is advancing so fast that those who are the most sensitive and receptive to changes definitely will have an advantage too. And the more a young generation uses something, the more dominant the method will become in their most active years, which makes it necessary for them to stay updated.
Hi, Professor. Thanks for joining us today. I have one last question for you. There are concerns about the potential dangers generative AI could pose to humanity. What are your thoughts on these risks, and how can we better prepare for them?
Yes, so the risks of Gen AI include social ones stemming from hyper-realistic fake images and voices, and personal ones like further isolation of the individual from the real world because people are spending more and more time on their small devices. And as far as individual lives are concerned, the latter is more worrisome to me because it may eventually limit how far one can develop the emotional connections with other humans and also creativity. The one who had very fulfilling lives and made great creations in history have also been very actively socially, So let's think about, Beethoven, Picasso, for instance, who are famously members of a society of artistic peers in real places like Vienna and Paris, where they share a creative vision and techniques with one another and grew together. So if we want generative AI to be a force for social and creative good, we will need to foster more interaction between people, not less.
Well, thank you so much, Professor, for your amazing answers. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Have a nice day, too. Right, so as we briefly touched on this in our live interview in the last question about the risks and potential dangers that generative AI could cause, as users of these chatbots and services, what are your concerns about this fast-growing technology?
Well, while ChatGPT is now easily accessible, there are no established guidelines for its proper use. And so in this context, we must come up with these guidelines. And let me give you an example. For university report writing, for example, there's a debate regarding whether it constitutes plagiarism or cheating, or if it's a helpful tool for students. Some professors penalize students for using AI to submit assignments as their original work, while others permit its use as long as they add proper credit to ChatGPT and the content is verified. And I even asked my students in my lecture if they use ChatGPT, and many said that they do use it to complete assignments and homeworks. But as long as they can get their work done efficiently and learn from using the tool, I think it's totally fine with me. However, I am a little personally concerned that this might hinder students' creative and logical thinking skills, since ChatGPT doesn't always use up-to-date information even. You have to make sure that you don't rely on it 100% and always review and double-check for the fact as well.
Right, because if you heavily rely on these services, then you might think, oh, why do I have to brainstorm or think of ideas? I can just ask these chatbots by entering a few keywords. So it's definitely one of the biggest concerns. Now, what about you, Brooke?
I have many similar concerns. When I worked as an English teacher here in Korea, I had to grade essays and check them for plagiarism, and it was usually pretty easy for me to tell if it was far too advanced for their level. So I would just, if I had that sneaking suspicion, I would just look up a few sentences on Google, and of course the source would pop right up. But the thing with generative AI is it's technically original content because it's entirely new combinations of words. So that means that it's much harder these days to detect plagiarism. So from the perspective of a former teacher, I have a lot of empathy for teachers these days because now they have to grapple with a lot of new technology. And I also have a lot of concern for students that now they're going to start to use these tools as a crutch, and they're not going to develop those creative thinking skills that we want them to. I think it's very tempting when you have this thing that everyone is using that you think, well, why am I spending all this time and effort when I could just use this easy way out? So I think we really need to make sure that there is some human oversight and make sure that there aren't those unintended consequences.
Right, definitely need for oversight. And we also asked our viewers if they're concerned about generative AI too and how their countries are addressing these concerns. And here's what 3 of them said. So if we look at the comments, Tasmia says generative AI or just AI may be helpful to businesses, but it's ruining people's hard work and work ethics. I will never ever use it, as you never know when it will become smart enough to create havoc for humankind. Leon says AI generated content content could infringe on existing copyrights. Also, the ability to create realistic-looking fake videos or audio can be used to spread misinformation and sow discourse. Singapore does not currently have specific laws or regulations, but the IMDA oversees AI development and promotes responsible use. Benny says, for me, the concerns of generative AI would be for translation accuracy, the reason sometimes what would be the right meaning of the said word in a different language to English. So, looking at the comments, we can see that our viewers are indeed concerned about this fast-growing technology, but we cannot turn a blind eye to the potential dangers of generative AI. But I think that if we use it wisely, it will definitely become a valuable tool, helping increase our work and work efficiency. So very shortly, looking ahead, what do you think should be done to better manage this technology?
Well, international cooperation definitely, such as the EU's first AI Regulation Act, the AI Safety Summits that was held in UK and South Korea. And I think we should think of it as a complementary tool rather than a replacement of our knowledge or our skills.
Right, definitely having these discussion platforms seems to be very important now. What about you, Brooke?
Yeah, I just want to leave you with one thing that resonated with me that I read online. It said humans are doing all the hard jobs for minimum wage while robots are learning how to write poetry and paint. That was not the future that I envisioned.
Right.
So I think we really need to remember why we created this technology in the first place, to make our lives easier, not to replace us. As long as we keep that in mind, I think we're going to be okay.
Right, so these tools should be tools, not be the purpose of what people do. And that's all the time we have for today, but NewsGen is here every day from 9:30 to 10 a.m. Korea time, bringing you more topics young people are talking about. Special thanks to 챗GPT.
Thank you.
And Brooke Prince.
Thanks so much.
And thank you everyone for watching, and hope you have a great weekend. We are News Generation.